start with Mo. Good morning and happy Monday to the Ungovernables, the Captain's Crew, the LFA family, McGroin Nation, coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned. Happy, what day is it?
Monday.
No, what day is it? No, well, it is. What day is it? It's Groundhog. No. On this show, it is Hedgehog Day. Mo has not seen his shadow. Mo says early spring.
Hallelujah.
There it is.
Thank you, Mo.
All right, there it is.
That's like music to my ears.
Mo is here. We're going to honk him off the bat. I want to, obviously, the elephant in the room. Let me get to the elephant in the room. Yes, Dan Bongino is starting today. Obviously, I'm a huge supporter of the Dan Bongino show, but we're live here today. To show. I'll show you. We're live, okay? We're not playing any games. We're live here today. The show is on, obviously. If you want to pick it up after the fact, that's fine too. I'm not here to, measure you-know-whats with anybody at this point, right? So, trust me, I am well aware who is streaming at this time. I don't think we need an echo in the live chat about who's also streaming right now. I'm happy to see him back. I'm also happy to see the LFA family here, strong, standing shoulder to shoulder. And as some people said in the chat, they're watching both at the same time. So that's even better. Someone was like, you do know you could open more than one window at the same time. I'm also going to say this. If there are any glitches this morning.
Yeah, I can't get on.
We've seen it. But thank you to everybody for being here. We're going to go. Look, obviously we knew today was going to be a big day on Rumble because Dan was coming back. And, I wanted to have a positive show today. And it's going to be positive, but we also have to be real. Okay, about what happened over the weekend, specifically in Texas Senate District 9. It's a very bad indicator. There's no other way to slice it. You could serve me copium heavy meals and it's not going to really matter. Folks, I don't want to hear, it was a loss, but this loss doesn't really count. Every loss counts and we can learn from them, right? We do the Rumble Rundown on Saturdays and we talk about the, sports and why I like sports so much, why we all like sports so much, right? And it's really because it's a merit-based system. Wins are wins, losses are losses. There are no moral victories. What happened in Texas Senate District 9 was bad. Very, very bad for Republicans. Now, it's not a stage 5, DEFCON level 30 nuclear disaster, what happened because of some of the dynamics at play. But don't let anyone tell you that this doesn't matter. I got yelled at yesterday on X by some guy who was like, sorry to ruin your narrative, but the reason why that happened was because there was a low turnout. Gee, thanks, Copernicus. I had no idea that there was a low turnout in a special frickin' election. Narrative? What narrative? Republicans lost in a deep red district. This is not New Jersey. This is not Virginia. These aren't Democrats performing well in blue states. This was a Republican candidate losing in a deep red district. I don't care that the person who won isn't going to be able to vote on anything and he's just a warm body in the seat. I mean, I care because obviously we avoid the worst case scenario, but please stop telling me that Republicans losing in deep red Trump plus 17 districts, don't tell me that that's not a bad thing because you're lying to me and you're lying to your hundreds of thousands of followers, okay? So we're going to cut through that bullcrap because that's what it is. Now, again, this is not the world is on fire, the sky is falling, it's over, MAGA's dead. That's not where we're going today. But we have a problem, and it is the fact that Republicans don't turn out in elections after in elections other than presidential elections. We have that problem. We know about that problem. Do you remember a year ago when Mike Waltz and Matt Gaetz' seat in Florida, when those seats were open and there were special elections and Jimmy Petronis and Randy Fine ran in those seats and they won, but they only won by half the margin? And I came on here the next day and I said, this is a little troubling. Now, I understand it's a special election and you can't, it's apples to oranges in some of those, but we hemorrhaged about 15 points of margin there. And then 2025 elections, and I said I'm seeing the same trends, and our buddy Chase Bowes told us the same thing when I spoke to him in person. And you guys are going to meet Chase Bowes, and he's an amazing kid. I say kid, he's an adult, but he is a young but extremely talented and bright, data-driven guy, and I can't wait to introduce him to you guys very soon. But you remember what I said? I've said it the day after the 2024 election. Get addicted to this, but stay engaged. Dylan Filion understands. He lives and breathes and eats and sleeps and repeats this stuff. All right? So I really want to... We're going to focus on that race. In the beginning, we're going to give you the bad, but then I'm going to give you the good. Okay? And I'm just going to, from 30,000 feet, there's a lot of people who are trying to cope. There's a lot of people who are trying to kind of, it doesn't matter. The Democrat's not actually going to get to vote on anything because there's another election in November, and so he's a lame duck, and the next legislative session doesn't start till 2020, or whatever it is, right? So I want to be very clear here. Okay? I want to be very clear. This race mattered. And if it didn't matter, then why did Republicans in Texas Senate District 9 spend $2.5 million on that race? To the guy, cynical, whatever his name is, who came in my thing yesterday and, sorry to ruin your narrative. What narrative? We lost at home. There's no narrative. Okay? Copernicus, well, we lost because turnout was light. Thank you. We spent $2.5 million. Why that was turnout light? All right? So, but it's not all bad. It's not all bad. It's like, it sounds like it's all bad. It's not all bad. Because we can fix it. Not leadership. Not the president. I love the president. Not the president. It's not his job to fix this problem. It's not his job to fix state level issues. It's your job, our job. Little bit of a weekend update. Brendan and I saw Melania.
We did.
Melania.
It was such a good movie.
Melania.
It was cute.
It's a great movie. For me, watching it, they spent a lot of time talking about the length of things on a dress.
Fashion, yeah. Which
I could take it or leave
very
that.
Interesting.
Melania is an elegant, classy, intelligent man. She is smart, very nice. You really get that. You really get that feel throughout the whole movie. I encourage everybody to watch it. It has done the best box office numbers for a documentary released into the movies. It's done the best numbers in a decade. So it has done a very good job at the box office. Actually exceeded expectations of what I thought it was going to be at the box. I didn't think it was going to do that well because when we bought tickets, the whole theater was wide open.
Yeah.
But when we got in there, it was almost completely full.
Completely packed, yeah.
So it did very well. I encourage everybody to see it. It's about an hour and 45 minutes. It's a good movie. For those of you who are into the fashion thing and that side of things, you get plenty of that. For those of you who are into the political side of things, you get plenty of that. And you also get some light moments in the movie. So it's very good. I came out of there and I said, I love what Melania does. She's very elegant. She puts a lot of attention to detail, a lot. And I didn't know that she had an architectural background too. And that played a role in her fashion stuff because like putting together your outfit is like building something. It's really cool. But boy, there's so much fanfare going to politics.
It's a lot of hoopla.
I'm going to tell you, these candlelight dinners, and I'm not taking anything away from Melania. These things exist, so she left her mark on them. It's not her fault. It's not Trump's fault. Boy, is there a lot of nonsense that goes on behind the scenes. my politicians, my public servants, I want them to just pass laws, execute the laws, and represent the people. These galas, these dinners, the candle lights, all the fanfare and the balls, and it's just like, just go to work, okay? Like, I'm watching this and I'm like, do we really need all this? No. We don't. But you know what? It's there, and so Melania left her mark on all those things, and you see that in this movie, and it was really good. So I encourage everybody to go see it. And I didn't hate all of the the parts about fashion and how long is this piece of the dress, and is there too much fabric here and not enough fabric there, and then there's this, that. I didn't hate that, because that's her thing. And Trump's a builder, and Melania is a builder in that aspect. So, and you hear about how the loss of her mother really, really hurt her, and she's still dealing with it now. So, a very good movie. I don't want to, it's not like spoiler alert. Like, we all know what happens. It's 20 days before the inauguration. Trump is in it, but there's some really cool behind the scenes stuff in there. So, and when Trump appears in the movie, he's very funny. So I would encourage everybody to go see it. All right, we're going to get to Texas Senate District 9, the good, the bad, and the ugly there. Thank you so much for watching, everybody here. Cody from Cody Lonizak says, I love Dan, but I'm here for Ungoverned. And I appreciate that. And I'll be listening to Dan later, and obviously, but we're live. We're here. We're ready to rock and roll. And wherever you guys and gals are, whenever you're watching it, whether you're live or later, thank you. All right. Word from our friends over at OFP Farms, OFPfarms.com, OFPfarms.com, OFPfarms.com. Ladies and gentlemen, they are nestled in the scenic foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountains. OFP Farms is more than just a farm. It embodies a tradition of quality and care. They've been proudly operating since 2014. OFP Farms goats are lovingly raised, roaming open pastures and breathing fresh air, which ensures that the milk that they produce is of the highest standard possible. Nobody does it better than their goats. They have beautiful goats. From creamy goat milk soaps and moisturizers to the nourishing tallow-based balms, each product is thoughtfully crafted with your family's well-being in mind. OFP Farms is committed to sustainable farming practices, providing natural and wholesome products that you can rely on. Now, whether you're in search of gentle skincare solutions or you simply wish to indulge in the purity of farm fresh goods, OFP Farms warmly invites you to explore the website. That's OFPfarms.com. Their mission is to bring a piece of their farm into your home, nurturing your family with the finest that nature has to offer. Be sure to visit OFP Farms website and use the code Sean. That is SHAWN. OFPfarms.com, promo code SHAWN. OFPfarms.com, promo code Sean for 10% off of your entire purchase. You see it on your screen right now, at least you should. OFPfarms.com, promo code SHAWN. That is OFPfarms.com, promo code Sean, SHAWN for 10% off. OFPfarms.com. Next up, a word from our friends, our good friends over at Armra Colostrum. Talk about a product that will really change things for you. Colostrum is that product and more. I encourage everybody to try Armra Colostrum. You know, I'm always on the lookout for these life hacks, these ways to strengthen my immunity, strengthen my gut health, improve my fitness and metabolism, and enhance my skin and hair radiance. Well, Armra Colostrum can do that for you and a whole lot more. Colostrum is the first nutrition that we receive in life, and it contains all the essential nutrients that our bodies need in order to thrive. Check it out. Armra Colostrum can reactivate your hair growth and help your skin glow, can fortify your gut health and ignite your metabolism, and it can fuel your fitness performance and recovery. Check it out at TryArmra.com, tryarmra.com/LFATV, Lima Foxtrot Alpha Tango Victor, tryarmra.com/LFATV for up to 30% off of your first order. That's tryarmra.com/LFATV, TryArmra.com/LFATV. All right. Let's move on here to Texas Senate District 9. Let's get it out of the way. What on earth happened here? What on earth happened in Texas Senate District 9? It wasn't good things. It's not the sky is falling. It's not, it's not, pack it up, it's over, the midterms are over, let's give up already. No, that's not what we're doing here. That's not what we're about to tell you. That's not at all. But this is not a good sign, no matter which way you cut it. Donald Trump in a presidential election, thank you, To every Captain Obvious out there who wants to tell me, well, presidential elections have better turnouts than special elections. Thanks. I had no idea. Thank you. Thank you. But what else? What are you going to tell me now? The sky is blue and the grass is green too? I didn't, as George Carlin said, I did not need to be told that. I forgot what that was. I forgot which bit that was in, but I love that. I did not need to be told that. I didn't need to be told that presidential elections feature higher turnouts than special elections. I'm pretty sure everyone knew that. But this is what the results were. Taylor Remmett, 54,280 votes. Leigh Wamsgans, I mean, looks like someone sneezed on the keyboard typing out her name. 40,000 votes. Now, there were a lot of people saying there was vote splitting that happened here. No, there wasn't. In the election beforehand, there was. In this election, this is a runoff, which means there are only two candidates. Add up the numbers. 57.2 plus 42.8 is 100, which means there were no multiple candidates, Republican candidates, in this race, the Texas Senate District 9 runoff, that split the vote. In the first race, there were two Republicans where had there been one, there would not have been a runoff. Okay? So it's like a half-truth. All right? It's like a half-truth. Apparently, this woman was not very popular in the district. They spent $2.5 million on this race. Clearly, it mattered. Clearly, if it didn't matter, you don't spend $2.5 million on it, right? So clearly, it mattered. Trump won the district by 17 points. The Republican lost the district by 15 points. It's a 32-point swing. None of this is good news if you're a Republican. None of it. None of it. What is good news is that, yes, this is a temporary flip, and it is likely to flip right back to red come the next general election in the general election cycle. Okay? But a Democrat has no business winning this seat. No business whatsoever. A Democrat scored a rare win in one of Texas's reddest legislative seats on Saturday, capturing a state Senate district that Donald Trump carried by double digits as Republicans struggled to turn out voters in a low participation special election. The Democrat victory could be short-lived, with the seat back on the ballot in November's general election. This upset gives Democrats a brief foothold in the deep red district where Republicans have dominated for decades. It's been 36 years since this district elected a Democrat. But they're expected to mount an aggressive effort to reclaim the seat in November. Remmett's win, driven by unusually low GOP turnout, immediately set off warnings inside Republican circles about voter enthusiasm under the second Trump administration. What happened here? I had several people who say they live in Texas Senate District 9 who had no idea there was an election. Whose fault is that? Well, you have the Republican Party that's not getting the word out. It's their fault. It's also, we have to look in the mirror. Let me ask you guys in the live chat right now, okay? What is something that I have been saying? Dylan has been saying this too. We talk about this all the time. What is something that I have been saying that we should be doing at the beginning of every month? The first of every month. What is something that I say we should all do to make sure this doesn't happen at the beginning of every month? And I know the chat's kind of wonky right now. And things are a little shaky.
Check for local elections. Right?
That's right. Brennan's right. Check for local elections. Check for local elections. Okay? You go on to Google. You could Google that. You could Google that. It's 12 times a year. You can literally copy and paste and save it in your notes and set an alarm for the first of every month. It takes 2 minutes. Copy and paste it and literally just say, is there an election in your zip code to vote in this month? That's it. Is there an election that I can vote in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your zip code, this month? 12 times a year. You will never, ever, ever be unaware of elections happening in your location ever again. 12 times a year, 2-minute search. That's 24 minutes out of an entire year. We could all do that. We could all do that. Okay? Now, I had no idea this election was coming. No idea. I don't live in Texas Senate District 9. So I will take some accountability here and take some of the blame and say, I didn't do enough to get people out because I didn't know. Why didn't I know? That's a national leadership problem because my little search doesn't bring up what's going on in Texas. It brings up what's going on here in the Christiana area of Murfreesboro. Okay? So there are people who had no idea that this election was going on. That is their fault and the local and state party's fault. If you spent $2.5 million on the race, how are there too many people who didn't know that there was an election to vote in? How is this happening? So here's what you do. If I was in charge of an operation where $2.5 million was spent and we lost by a lot, every single person who had input on where to spend and how to spend that $2.5 million gets fired and is never working again. You literally took $2.5 million, lit it on fire. To you highly paid consultants, right? Okay? F you. You don't know jack shit about winning local elections. Nothing. And we've dealt with some of these tools from Axiom or whatever group it is. We've dealt with some of these tool bags who think they know everything, and yet all they do is continuously put up loss after loss after loss after loss after loss. Remember the highly paid consultant class? Who'd they get behind in the 2024 primary? Ron DeSantis. How'd that go? How'd that go? I will say this. Ron DeSantis was a better candidate than his performance reflected. I don't think he should have won, but I think he's better than how he performed in the 2024 primary. Let's just say that. These consultants don't know anything. They know nothing. They will walk into these local districts and they will bring in their national politics and they will bring in their, oh, well, I've been doing this for 10 plus years. You suck at your job. You took $2.5 million, lit it on fire, and got your asses absolutely handed to you. You suck. Anybody who is involved in this campaign that just lost in Texas Senate District 9 should never, ever work on a Republican campaign ever again. Never again. I know one thing. If I had $2.5 million to spend on a race, you know what I'm doing? I am taking every last dollar. F the radio, F your mailers, F your lit drops. You want to do lawn signs? Lawn signs are cool because you can see those. Knock on doors. Chris Rose in West Virginia had $1.2 million dropped on him by his opponent. He raised $54,000. It was him and a handful of volunteers knocking on doors for months. And he won his race by 20 plus points when anybody who looked at that from 30,000 feet, the money, the experience, all this would not have given him a chance in hell. If I had $2.5 million to spend on a race in a local Senate district, every single dollar of that is going to door knockers. I am paying people to knock on doors and make connections. I'm not buying radio ads. I'm not spending $30,000 on 1,500 pieces of literature that most people get in the mail and throw away. I'm not doing that. The best way to win these local seats is to go door to door, talk to people, make that face-to-face connection. If door-to-door didn't work, there would be no door-to-door salesman. Right?
That's how we got our roof.
That's how we got our roof. No, she's right. We would not have a new roof if somebody did not knock on our door. Because I would say, oh, it's not leaking. Yeah, we got hail, but it's not leaking. If someone did not knock on our door, climb up on our roof, find the spots that they, said were damaged. Brennan came in, woke me up. I did Trump for them, and we had a good time. But if they did not knock on our door and do that, we would not have a new roof. By the way, our roof performed very well in the recent ice storm.
Yeah, it did.
So shout out to Willard Roofing out here in Murfreesboro. Door-to-door works. If door-to-door didn't work, there would be no door-to-door salesman. Okay? Door-to-door works. If door-to-door didn't work, the Jehovah's Witnesses wouldn't be a thing. Okay? I'm just saying. Right? It works. It's not fun. It's not easy. It's a long day. You put a lot of miles on your shoes, but it works. It absolutely works. I've been door knocking on a number of occasions. It works. Here's the biggest problem that I have with this race. There are people acting like it didn't matter. But it does matter. It absolutely matters. And again, if it was irrelevant, someone's, it doesn't really matter. Then why did Republicans throw $2.5 million into this race if it was irrelevant? Stop trying to cope and look in the freaking mirror. It is time for some tough love. Republicans have an apathy problem. We know that. This does not mean that 2026 is over already. This is something where you look at a glaring hole. It's a hole. It's a weakness that we have. We do not turn out outside of presidential elections. We just don't. We know it. We're seeing it. Rather than downplay the loss, why don't we learn from the loss and turn that loss into a win? We have to change our behaviors. And the best part about it is, don't worry about the RNC. Don't worry about your local county party, I would say you should join and bring some energy, okay? Don't worry about leadership. Be the leadership. Be the leadership. Don't wait for somebody to tell you something to do. Don't wait for your local party to reach out to you and tell you to vote. Take initiative. It is this simple. It's very simple. All we've got to do, look ourselves in the mirror one day and just say, you know what? I'm not worried about the RNC. I'm not waiting for ads. You're in Kentucky's 4th district and you're tired of Thomas Massey. Start campaigning for Ed Galrain today. There were other excuses too. Well, it was cold in Texas. It was cold? What are you, voting in the frozen tundra? You get in your car. You drive to the polling place. Your car's warm, right? You could even warm up your car. So from your house to your car, it's cold. You're in your car, it's warm. When you're driving to the polling place, it's warm. When you park your car and get out, it's cold again. And then you go into the polling place and it's warm again. Are we really saying, guys, well, cut them some slack, it was cold. It was cold? The Democrats didn't seem to give a flying you-know-what that it was cold. They went out and voted in the cold. Are they tougher than you? Are the Democrats tougher than you? The excuses have got to stop. There was a cold snap. There was an ice storm. There was not an ice storm over the weekend in Texas. There wasn't. A week ago there was, yeah. It's cold. It was on a Saturday. Oh, that's not fair. It was on a Saturday. The Democrats knew there was an election to vote in. Are they more informed than you? Are you really letting a pack of blue-haired, septum ring, tranny freaks outmaneuver you politically? Are you really doing that? No, you can't do that, Texas Senate District 9 or Republicans anywhere. You can't do that. That drove me nuts. It was cold. That was the excuse. Well, it was cold in Texas. So what? No one's asking you to stand outside for 5 hours. You're outside for a grand total of 5 minutes. Put on a fucking jacket. It was cold. I mean, what is this? What, have you never heard of mittens before?
Mittens.
Do you not own a beanie? Or a sweatshirt? What? It's like people were like, well, yeah, I saw that excuse yesterday. And you've got to be kidding me. We have the ability to win. We just have to want it bad enough. I know the people in this chat want it very bad. And so I encourage everybody in this chat, take this method with you, okay? Today is February 2nd. It is Hedgehog Day, okay? Please, everybody in this chat, do that Google search. Is there an election to vote in zip code, whatever your zip code is, this month? And do that today. Copy and paste that exact question that you put into Google. Put it into your notes on your phone. Okay? Put it into your notes on your phone and set a recurring reminder once a month on the first of every month to put that into the Google machine. Okay?
The Google machine.
Just please do that. And spread that method to your friends. It's once a month. It takes 2 minutes to copy and paste that prompt into the Google machine and find out if there's an election to vote in. 2 minutes, 12 times, 24 minutes, a year to know if there's something you should be voting in. Very simple. And if you find out that there is something you should be voting in, now you go into your contacts and you say, hey, I know you're into politics. You know there's an election coming up in a week. You want to go to the polls together? And start and just build those organic, real world, face-to-face coalitions that win elections. How do I know this works? Because I did it. For 3.5 years of my life, I lived and breathed this stuff. On the streets. In neighborhoods. Knocking on doors. In the cold. In the heat. In bad weather. I've been there. This works. And we're going to be doing it again soon. Because there's a local race here. I'll have some news for you about that after this weekend. We'll put something formal out. There's a local race here for a position that is very important to us, that we're going to be very involved in, that I plan on wearing out some of my shoes.
Me too.
To help this guy win this position. Very important position to us.
Yep.
And I'll leave it at that. And we'll put out something formal after this Saturday, because we're going to be attending a fundraiser for this local race. All right, quick break. Let's get a quick break. Guys, I don't want you to think like I'm saying the sky is falling, but I also want to be real, all right? Tough love is sometimes the best type of love. You don't need to be told everything's okay when everything's not okay. That would be me doing you a disservice. This is not the end of the world. I get it. This seat's probably going to flip back Republican. I get it. We still shouldn't have lost. Is this a candidate problem? It might have been, from what I'm being told. She wasn't a great candidate. This Lay Wamsey Gansey, whatever her last name is, the sneeze on keyboard. I don't know what went on there. All I can tell you is that what I'm telling you to do, the first of every month, is there an election that I can vote in insert zip code here this month? Look for primaries. Look for local library boards, school boards. Look for any and everything that you can vote in. Look for that. And do this once a month and stay engaged. Conservatives who don't vote, elect Democrats. Okay? Conservatives who don't vote, elect Democrats. That's what happens. And I know some people, well, you expect me to vote for a rhino? No, I expect you to be a part of the process. You and your friends to play as big a role in the process as you can, so that when you get to the general election, there isn't even a rhino on the ballot because you've been so involved in the primaries and you've been making your voice heard the entire time. That's what I expect you to do. And it really isn't that hard, and it boils down to that one search on the first of every month that takes you 2 minutes. Is there an election that I can vote in your zip code this month? Once a month, 12 times a year. It takes 2 minutes. I'm asking you to set aside a half hour of your time over the course of an entire year just to make sure that what we saw in Texas Senate District 9 does not happen anywhere else in this country. Because while that guy, that Democrat who won, may not be able to vote on anything because of where the session is and how all that's going to play out, it still emboldens and invigorates, and it is an injection of enthusiasm for the Democrats, and we don't need to be handing them that type of juice, okay?
Did you say Jews?
No, no, Tucker. Juice? Someone say juice? Speaking of Jews, shout out to Misfit. We asked them, because it's just been freaking cold. Now, we would have voted if there was an election, but it's been cold, like cold. You know, like I'm going in the garage to do my workouts. It's like 46 degrees. I might as well be outside. So I said to Zach over the weekend, right, Misfit Patriot, I said, listen, I know you got a really good relationship with the Jews. You know, if by any chance you know any of the ones who control the weather, as you know, many people have alleged, can you put in a request to kind of make it a little warmer? So he put out a Dear Jews, I know you control the weather. You know, he's being Zach. And by the way, today is above freezing.
It's a beautiful day.
We're going to get sun.
Sunshine.
So, you know, there may be something to the whole, the Jews control the weather thing. I was like, you know, we could use a space laser right on the house and like kind of thaw us out a little bit, right? So his request to the those scheming weather Jews.
You just got to get on their good side.
Yeah, you know, he was like, his post was like, I've been very good to you, and I know you control the weather. I need you to kick it up a few degrees, okay? And I think it was, you know, we have a nice day out here today. So thank you, Misfit, for that. Appreciate that. All right, a word from our friends over at Silent. It's SLN, obviously tongue in cheek, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joking. People go, oh, he's woke right. He's woke right. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I said to Zach, I said, if it was still freezing cold, I was going to change my name to Myron and start talking about how, you know, the Holocaust wasn't real or something today. No, I'm only kidding. It's a joke. Ha ha. I'm mocking them because there are people who believe that someone in a yarmulke somewhere controls the weather. And I'm just like, what are you, nuts? Are you people crazy? Yes, they're crazy.
Yes, they are.
All right, a word from our friends over at Silent. SLNT.com. SLNT.com/Sean, SHAWN. Let's face it, more tough love. Your phone, as many good things come from it. You can stay in touch with a lot of people, send pictures, do whatever you got to do, but it's also tracking you everywhere you go. Your phone's a tracking device. We all know that. Between government agencies, big tech, corporate data brokers, even cyber criminals, they're all fighting for a piece of your digital footprint. And they don't ask. They just go on and take it. That is why Silent exists. Silent makes Faraday gear that blocks all wireless signals, including cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID, and near-field communications. You know what no signal means? It means no tracking. It means no remote access. It means no breadcrumbs. This is the same technology trusted by special operations teams around the world, used to block signals, avoid surveillance, and secure communications wherever your mission leads. And right now, that technology is available to you to protect your family, to protect your freedom, and to secure your digital footprint. All you got to do is drop your phone in a Silent Faraday sleeve, and it is completely off the grid, totally silent, and invisible to the outside world. From their backpacks to their sleeves to their crossbody, Silent's patented technology gives you control of your privacy. Just visit SLNT.com/Sean to get 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. That is Silent, SLNT.com/Sean, SHAWN. Protect your rights, secure your data, and stay one step ahead. Silent.com, SLNT.com. Silence the chaos. And, of course, go silent today. SLNT.com/Sean, SLNT.com/Sean. What are we doing?
It looks
here?
like it's mo time.
I see a lot of people saying that. Now, I honked him.
I can't tell because I can't get anything to load.
I honked him before. Now, this says 796.
You're voting too often.
Now I'm voting too often, and I just hit the dreaded refresh button. So at 799 right now, we shall not honk until 800.
I can't vote, though, so pretend like I did.
Thou shalt not honk until we hit 800.
But if I could, we would be.
Yeah, what? You can't. 801. All right, here we go. Happy Hedgehog Day. All right. All right.
Good morning, Mo.
Good morning, Mo. All right. Onwards and upwards. Let's get away from this. Here's some good news. The RNC is nearing $100 million in their war chest ahead of the midterms as the Democrats sink $3.5 million into the red. Again, though, money doesn't buy everything. Money can't buy everything. And money certainly does not mean you're going to win elections. It's a good sign, but only if you put the money to work in the most efficient way possible, right? $2.5 million in Texas Senate District 9. And it was lit on fire because they lost by 15 points. Okay? But this is still a very good sign going into the midterms. Without a president to headline events, the party that does not hold the White House often struggles to raise money in its main national committee. President Trump's reputation as a transactional politician has only further encouraged donors with business before the government to give generously both to the party and Mr. Trump's super PAC. The depth of the Democrat Party financial hole is noteworthy. The RNC had a $38.8 million war chest entering 2018 at the end of the first year of Trump's first term. The DNC was in the red at the time with about $500,000 more in debt, but the financial gap between the two parties was less than half of what it is now. The RNC right now had the RNC then in 2018 had $38.8 million entering 2018. The Democrats had about $500,000 more in debt than cash, but the financial gap between the two parties was less than what it was. Last October, the DNC took out a $15 million loan to fund the governor's races in Virginia and New Jersey and to make longer-term investments. The party's cash position has eroded significantly in the past year. After entering 2025 with $22 million in the bank, the RNC started 2025 with a $38 million treasury. All right, RNC enters 2025 with nearly $100 million edge on Democrats, but it doesn't matter unless we put that money to work efficiently and we put that money to work the right way. It's kind of like, think of it like government spending. If you have $100,000, let's say $500,000, would you rather spend it with, studying drunk lizards on a treadmill, or would you rather spend it on homeless veterans and giving them a meal? I would rather spend it on veterans, but the government likes to waste money, so they spend it on the lizards. Okay? That's the problem that we're running into. There is a class of consultants. There is a class of consultants who believe that they know better than everybody else. I'll tell you what else is playing a role here. There's a class of social media whores, male and female, who are monetizing their pages for these political campaigns. Your X feed, I'm not saying not to post on it, doesn't do anything in the real world. You get me? I don't know how many times I saw influencers last year post the name of Brad Schimmel, remember the Wisconsin Supreme Court candidate? We wanted him to win so that they didn't have Democrat control of their state Supreme Court. And all people were posting was just his name. Brad Schimmel, Brad Schimmel, Brad Schimmel, Brad Schimmel. It did nothing. He lost by 10 points. For the umpteenth time, I don't know what number umpteenth is, but it's a big number apparently. The internet is not real life. It is a supplemental tool for what we can do in the real world. Supplemental. I had somebody on X yesterday say, the reason why Republicans aren't turning out is because of Israel. Well, the Israel thing has been a psyop online since 2023, and Republicans have had a lousy time and have put up lousy performances in off-year elections forever. So this has nothing to do with your little obsession with a country the size of New Jersey in the Middle East. Nothing to do with it. Zero to do with it. Furthermore, the Wall Street Journal found ran a study in mid-January that said of 2024 voters across all party designations, Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever party you're a part of 2024 voters, Donald Trump has a 92% approval rating among people still who voted for him in 2024. Why aren't they going out to the polls then to demonstrate that and give Donald Trump a better chance at getting his agenda passed? Because they don't know and they don't care. That's our job, to reach them. And spending your entire life online thinking you're reaching those people, you're not. It's clear you're not. X is a great supplemental tool. Truth Social is a great supplemental tool. Facebook is a great supplemental tool, but they are supplemental tools. You can take as many supplements as you want, right? Let's say you're on a fitness journey. If you don't go work out and do the actual hard work, nothing about your body, your physiology is going to change. You can take as many supplements as anybody wants to sell you. Nothing changes unless you put in the work. So we can use X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Truth Social, Getter, Rumble, anything we want as a supplemental tool. But unless we get out there and actually grind and do the hard work, we're not going to win. We did the hard work in 2024. Millions upon millions of people knocked on doors. Millions upon millions of people used the Early Vote Action app. Millions upon millions of people used the Turning Point Action app. Millions upon millions of people phone banked at Trump Force 47. Millions upon millions of people did the hard work, and our hard work was rewarded with that massive election victory in 2024. The problem is that largely stopped, and that's why we're seeing, despite a 92% approval rating among 2024 Trump voters across all parties and affiliations, that's why we're seeing this apathy. That's why we're seeing these lousy performances. Because people aren't engaged. They think winning the 2024 election is enough. Okay, we got our president and that's it. Let's see what happens. You've got to stay engaged and involved in the process if you want these wins to stick. It's as simple as doing the hard work, and many hands make light work. You don't have to knock on every door by yourself if you've got an army of millions knocking on doors with you. The problem is the army of millions is back to sleep again. All right. I want to show you what we're up against here. Here is this mayoral candidate in Long Beach, California, actually calling on gangs, street gangs, to resist ICE. I'm not kidding. Watch this.
My name is Rogelio Martinez. I am calling all 55 gangs in my beautiful city. I expect a gang leader from every gang, all 55 gangs, and I'm not going to name them by name, but I'm calling the Latino gangs. I'm calling the Cambodian gangs. I'm calling the Filipino gangs. I'm calling the black gangs. I'm calling the Pacific Islander gangs. I'm calling all gang leaders to meet me right here, Long Beach City Hall, this coming Monday. Why Monday? Specifically, I need you to be here to meet me in person to take back this city, because our leadership is not doing anything about it, and our police are powerless.
All right, so we're calling on street gangs. We're calling on street gangs to take back the city. What is this, Batman? What is this? Is that guy Bane? What is this, Batman now? I will break you. What are we doing? We will give Gotham to the people. I haven't watched that movie in a while, so I'm not so sure if that's how Bane sounds anymore or what he sounded like. You hear that guy? That's what we're up against. But he knows there's an election. Some people there who are Republicans don't know there's an election coming. They're not. I give him credit. At least he's trying to organize. I'm not saying we need to call on street gangs, right? Like, instead of calling on street gangs, maybe like, hey, PTA moms, sports dads, all of this. Christians don't like to vote. For whatever reason, Christians don't vote. They don't. It's very strange. And a Christian who doesn't vote elects, a Satan worshiper. All right? For whatever reason, like, Christians they just don't.
A lot of them think that they don't want to get into politics, but literally it's important too. The Bible is very political.
If you don't voluntarily get into politics, you will be thrust into it at some point. Look, watch. Ready? The people in the church in St. Paul didn't think they were getting into something political when they went to their service on Sunday a couple weeks ago, right? And then Don Lemon showed up. Now, I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm not victim blaming here. I'm just saying that should be evidence enough. Get out and vote. Get involved. You're at your church. Don't do it during the service, but after the service, maybe have a few conversations with a few people. Maybe outside of church, start a little Bible study, group of 10 people, but also turn that into some sort of little activist group. I'm just trying to get a little creative, think outside the box here, and find ways to change the outcome of these elections that are happening in non-presidential years. Okay? All right. Quick break. I want to get to a word from our friends over at goldencrestmetals.com/LFA.
I'm sure by now you've heard that silver went up 160% last year, 2025. I bought this silver for $22 an ounce. It's now worth almost $100. And we and experts think that silver is going to get up to about $200 an ounce. Palladium and platinum were stuck at $900 an ounce for like over a year, or in that area. Now they're up over $2,000. Gold is approaching $5,000 an ounce. If you have ever thought about putting some or all of your retirement or nest egg or savings or just buying bullion in precious metals, now's the time to do it. goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. That's goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Go leave your name, your email, and your phone number. Schedule a time to talk to the folks over at Golden Crest Metals. Get your free gold guide today, and make sure you tune in on Saturdays at 1 p.m. for the Crest Report, where we dive deep into precious metals, why they're doing what they're doing, and where we expect them to go. It is like insider trading. Nancy Pelosi knows about that. We don't. It's just inside information. It's not even really that. It's called knowledge. Get yours today and get a part of gold, silver, palladium, and platinum and diversify your portfolio today. goldencrestmetals.com/LFA.
That's goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Appreciate Jeremy and Golden Crest being a part of the show. This is how bass-ackwards the left has gotten, especially in Minneapolis. The hospitality industry is blaming ICE for the left-wing riots. They're blaming ICE for these people going to hotels at midnight and playing music, like through like trombone. Like there was people with trombones outside of a hotel.
Gosh.
I mean, if I was a family staying in that hotel, I'd sue. I'd sue either the city, the state, whatever, or the hotel or something, force some sort of action there. Also, the Epstein Files. With 3 million Epstein Files came out over I think it was Friday, they dropped them. 3 million Epstein Files. There's this one that's floating around. The woke right wants to make a big deal out of this, saying that Donald Trump is, of course, he's compromised by Israel. Here we go. One claim involved the Trump National Golf Club in Rancho Palos Verdes in 1995-1996, yet the golf course didn't even exist. These are like these random nut jobs, testimony. But everything's been released, and this is the danger of doing that because now you're just releasing literally everything. Multiple Democrat members of Congress spread these lies also, so it means they have no discernment or ability whatsoever, or they can't or wouldn't do 5 minutes of research. The Justice Department made clear that Friday's documents may include fake or falsely submitted images, documents, or videos. It also said that some of the documents contain false claims against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI before the 2020 election. So you have folks trying to attack Trump at that point, of course. The left is also ignoring the statement from the DOJ that it includes all that fake information. The DOJ did release the information, shows they're releasing documents, even if they might shed a negative light on Trump. They don't have anything beyond these nut job claims without any evidence. If the Biden team had any valid information at all on Trump, they would have used it in 2020. They would have used it in 2024. So unless there's any actual allegations with any actual evidence, you've got nothing. You could see them. You could see these claims that they put out. People will jump on, see, but you look at like some of the other things that these people are claiming. It's just, even the New York Times is looking at these claims against Trump and saying, nah, we can't verify them. You know why? Because the New York Times want to get sued. That's why. Also, on the Epstein front, Ghislaine Maxwell's legal filings indicated that 25 of Epstein's accomplices reached secret settlements with victims after their abuse allegations. 29 names. Inside a long legal filing in her appeal against her sex trafficking conviction, Jeffrey Epstein's partner in crime, Ghislaine Maxwell, made a startling revelation. According to her filing, a group of 25 alleged accomplices to the late pedophile Jeffrey Epstein made secret settlements with victims and plaintiffs. New evidence reveals that there were 25 men with which the plaintiff lawyers reached secret settlements that could equally be considered as co-conspirators. Maxwell's lawyer wrote in papers seeking to overturn her conviction in November. Filing also claims that 4 of the notorious financier's employees were not indicted but were mentioned in a controversial non-prosecution agreement and in the sex trafficking indictment Epstein faced before he killed himself in jail, where the trial was pending. The claim is found in a lengthy habeas corpus petition filed by Maxwell on December 17, 2025. Maxwell is serving a 20-year prison sentence in minimum security Camp Bryan in Texas. It is not clear who the 29 individuals referenced in the petition are. Again, I'm not victim blaming or victim shaming here. But to those screaming cover up, cover up, cover up, first of all, 3 million files have been released. Yes, there are redactions. The bill that Thomas Massie wrote allows for those redactions. So don't get mad at the DOJ for redacting. Massie allowed them to do that. Now he's bitching about it because that's what he does. He just complains. He gets nothing done. He just complains. But there are 3 million Epstein files out. Some of it's some weird stuff. Bill Gates with this Russian prostitutes and the STDs, and he wanted to slip his wife some prescription drugs without her knowing. Very strange stuff. And there's a lot more where that came from. They were talking about pandemic simulations. That sounds a lot like COVID. There's some fake photos of a young Zohran Mamdani with Jeffrey Epstein. These are fake. They're AI. But there are other claims that Mamdani's mom knew Epstein. I don't know if that's true yet, so I'm not going to run with it. But I know the pictures of Zohran as a young kid with Epstein aren't real. Apparently, the time that picture was taken, he wouldn't have been the age that he's seen in the photos. And it's also watermarked by a meme guy. So it's a meme. I don't think it's real. Like 99% sure. Okay, there's other things that we can get on Zohran Mamdani about, like the fact that, I don't know, homeless people are freezing to death in New York City. Is that the warmth of collectivism? I think it is. The warmth of collectivism. How nice. Homeless people freezing to death. Because apparently scooping them up and throwing them into a shelter or some sort of facility is not kind. I guess it's kinder to let them just die. Freezing to death in the cold. Speaking of that, Nashville Electric, by the way, that's a whole nother situation. Let's protect the canopy. We wouldn't want to make the trees. We wouldn't want to upset and hurt their feelings. The trees. Took down the power lines. People are freezing to death in Nashville also. All right. Jeremy Harrell is up next here on LFA TV with Live from America. As President Trump says, we will never give up. We will never give in. We will never, ever surrender. If all else fails, we'll just become ungovernable. Thank you. God bless you. God bless this one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, same place, rumble.com/LFA TV. Hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you share with all your friends. Jeremy's up next for the next 2 hours on LFA TV with Live from America. Until then, have a great rest of your Monday. I'll be on 1210 WPHT, 3 to 6 p.m. today, and back here tomorrow morning. Bang gavel. Good night, everybody, and thank you for your attention to this matter.